Welcome to Tibara's Den. My name is Whitney and welcome to another CAS Monday. We are continuing on with our Zodiac series. We are on the second portion of our Primal Zodiac under the House of Taurus. If you don't know what's going on, check out the previous videos. I'll leave the playlist linked in the description below as well as the end of this video. But I kind of explain about what we're doing in those videos multiple times and I don't want to be just repeating myself over and over again, so definitely check those out if you haven't already. Also, the websites where I got all my information for this series are also linked in the description below, so if you want to learn more or see where I got my information from, definitely check out those websites. But right now we are working on the first two sims for our second house under the Taurus zodiac sign, and the Primal Zodiac just combines, the Western zodiac with your Chinese zodiac. So we are combining all the Taurus zodiac with all the different Chinese zodiacs is what we're doing. And so right now we have our Ostrich, which combines the sign of Taurus with the Chinese zodiac year of the monkey. And the little description for the ostrich says, a mix of headstrong self-assurance and passionate determination. Those born under the sign of the ostrich have the ability to influence the society and culture around them just by doing what they do best. Ostriches are smart, confident, and driven. They have huge imaginations and love to learn new things. They are puzzle solvers by nature, and though they are not typically all that focused in their everyday lives, members of the sign can become fixated on getting the results they want. Ostriches don't just have hobbies, they have obsessions. They are rarely intentionally ambitious, rather their success comes from following their passions, with such endless devotion that they can't help but become masters of their craft. This is when the best aspects of the ostrich come forth. If they were to stop and try to intentionally calculate their next steps to success, they would become overwhelmed and fall apart. Indeed, there are two different kinds of ostriches, those that unconsciously move forward on their own special path, and those who are constantly searching for the next high. This is a big danger for those born under this sign. Their purpose in life is to follow their hearts and their instincts. Every time they try to control the direction that they are naturally flowing in, they go off course. If they let this happen too often, they become completely lost in life and wonder how everything can seem so wrong when they've been trying so hard to do everything right. Their ego is their biggest enemy, and giving in and trusting fate is the only way for them to move forward. Ostriches have one of the greatest opportunities, but also face one of the greatest challenges of all signs. The quality of the ostrich's life is directly correlated to their ability to let go and trust fate and their instincts to take them where they're always meant to go. Ostriches do best when they forget about other people's definition of success and simply focus on following their interests. The role of follower does not suit them well, though neither does the role of leader. Members of the sign must find and take their own path in order to find balance and happiness. This is indeed what they are meant to do, so fate has made sure to give them the intelligence, determination, and luck they need to find their way in the world. It is only when they become overly influenced by outside expectations that these gifts become wasted and useless. Ostriches should be the ones influencing society through their actions and beliefs, not the other way around. And then it talks about some different careers that work for ostriches, such as jewelry designer, furniture maker, clothing designer, things like that. Some famous ostriches were Tony Hawk, Bob Saget, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Cocker, George Lucas, Casey Kasem, Pope John Paul II, Jimmy Stewart, Harry S. Truman, and John Brown. They were all famous ostriches. So for my ostrich here, I decided to make him a freelancer under the crafter branch. That seems to be something that would suit him very, very well based on the description. His aspiration is master maker. His traits are maker, self-assured, and creative. And then his name is Onane, which means vision, sight, see, picturized, imagined. So for his style, I wanted to kind of go... He's just... I don't even know how to explain his style. It's just kind of... just like a freestyle, I guess. Some of the pieces don't quite match together, but I think it just works for this sim, and I really like how he turned out. I went with a lot of like pinks and whites along with black, just because that's the color of the ostrich. If you look at a picture of the ostrich, they have the black feathers with the white tips, and then their neck and their legs are also pink. And so I thought that would be, I was trying to kind of draw in the ostrich aspect as well into the sim. And I spent a lot of time on him. Most of the time my male sims go pretty quickly, but for him it took a little while just because I kind of struggled with kind of his look and how I kind of pictured him as a sim. Especially because he is kind of creative and he likes to make things, and he kind of goes, marches to the beat of his own drum. I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the sim. And so I actually ended up going with these pants here. I think with the little belt that has the feathering and then the pink, it just made me think ostrich. And so I was pretty well set on using these pants here for his everyday look. And then I really struggled. I liked the original top I had. It kind of made me think ostrich too, but I didn't like it with these pants so much. Although looking back now, it actually would have worked because ostriches kind of look awkward because, their bodies are so much bigger in proportion to like their legs and their neck. Like they have these skinny legs and skinny neck, and then this big old body with the feathers that kind of puff out. And so that shirt, with as puffed as it was, probably would have worked well. Anyway, I didn't like it at the time, and so you can see I'm kind of going through and trying to decide what to use here. And the shirt I actually went with is blue with polka dots, which you'll see in a little while. And I just thought it looked the best with these pants. Not necessarily my first choice of shirt in general. I just thought they worked the best with these pants, and so that's why I ended up using them. And I do like the shirt itself. I debated about using the black and white one to kind of go with my ostrich theme. I just didn't quite like how the black and white polka dot looked with these pants, and so that's why I ended up not using those. But I do like how he turned out, and I think his everyday look is very unique, and it's just not something you would kind of think to see, I guess. But he's not necessarily the most fashionable sim in the world, but he just kind of does what works for him. So this is the shirt I ended up using, but I used it in the blue swatch there. But you can see I went back and forth a lot between the blue and then the white shirt with the black polka dots. I couldn't quite decide, but in the end I thought this looked best, and I liked the way it kind of contrasted with the pink pants, and it was kind of fun and unique, and I think that certainly suits the sim as well. And I like that he has a little earring in his ear. He's just kind of a unique character, and I've started their build. I haven't finished, unfortunately. Normally I like to have the build completely finished before I do these videos, and so that way, the screenshots and such, I have them already in their environment, and I think it makes the screenshots nicer. But I didn't get the build finished in time, and so you'll see the screenshots. I have the outside of the build finished, and I actually was able to place down a lot of like the craft items, so like the worker table, the candle maker, the fizzing station. I think I put a robotic station in there as well. And so there was a lot of items that I was able to use for the sim that I don't necessarily normally use, or I only use like one of those items, where I was able to kind of put them all in for the sim, because they're very inquisitive, and they like, learning new things, and, puzzle solvers and things like that. And so I like the idea of him, tinkering around with different things. So, he might try to build a robot. He might also make his own fizzy juice, candles to sell, things like that. And he kind of just does his own thing, and I can see him selling those things as well. So he was, like I said, his character is very kind of unique and out there, so it's kind of hard to get a clear picture of him, because I don't think he necessarily fits inside, one style or a box that you can really imagine. He's probably a sim that would definitely surprise you somewhat. You think you kind of have him pegged and figured out, and then he would come out of the blue with something else that would just take you by surprise. But now we are on to his formal look, and I don't see him going to very many formal events. And so, I don't think he would wear like a full suit and tie type thing. he would definitely try to look nice. So I just did a basic pair of pants, and then this shirt here in pink, again trying to go with white and pink, a lot to kind of symbolize the ostrich, especially since I made him darker skin. I like the contrast against his skin as well. But yeah, he's he's something. And so this is his formal look. I kind of debated about shoes. I always tend to struggle with male shoes for some reason, so I just went with basic black for that. And then for his workout outfit, again, not really sure what I wanted to go with here. So I kind of had to play around, but I like this one in pink. It was a little bit more fun, and so I decided to go with this top here, just because, like I said, it's pink, one, which matched my criteria, and two, it's just a little bit more fun. And then white pants. I think I went with these pants here. I might have switched them. Again, just kind of struggled with what I wanted to use, as far as this workout outfit, but it didn't necessarily need to match either. Actually, I think I went with, I can't remember. Okay, I did go with the white pants. I almost went with the orange because it matched the top. I like how it tied in with the orange, but I think I did that on another sim. I can't remember. And so I'm glad I went with the white pants instead. And then for his sleepwear, again, didn't want to do anything, too crazy, but also not too simple or standard either for the sim. So I went with this top here, which is in pink, and then kind of a little bit different on the pants, the baggy pants with the cuffs on the end, which are just a little bit different, not necessarily something you see all the time. And then for his party wear, you can kind of go fun here. And so I like this top here. I like the pink and the white, kind of standard. And then the pants, I think I went with basic black for his pants. I didn't go too crazy for his party look, which out of all the looks, this is probably the one I could have gotten away with going a little bit more crazy, since it is a party look. But this one's actually a little bit more normal, compared to some of his other looks. But it still kind of checks all the boxes of kind of what I was going for. Like I said, I kind of had a color theme in mind. I'm not necessarily doing a color theme for their looks. I am for their builds. But their looks, I've been kind of just doing whatever. But for him, I was just thinking ostrich, and so I had those colors in mind. Swimsuit, you saw that was really easy. I just found a pair of pink shorts. And then for his hot weather look here, I like this shirt. I actually think I changed it though. But again, you can see I really like this shirt for him. The white with the polka dots. I kind of keep gravitating towards it a lot. But in the end, I actually went with this shirt here with the sunglasses. I thought it was kind of relaxed and just fun. And then again, he has the pink shorts. But just kind of a more relaxed look for the summertime, even though I could have gone with maybe a little bit more fun style of shirt. But this is basic and just relaxed and comfy, which I think is something he would really enjoy. And then the shoes, again, you have the pink and the white, which is fun. And then finally, we are on to his cold weather look. And for this one, didn't do anything, again, too crazy for him. I think I went with this shirt here. I like the turtleneck with the jacket. I think it looked really nice on him. And then found some pink pants to go with it. And just a little bit more put together for this look. Not quite as relaxed as some of his other looks, but still, a little bit different, a little bit more unique than what you maybe would see with someone else. And you can kind of see he doesn't have like a style you can pinpoint necessarily. It's kind of all over the place. But that is my ostrich sim, and let me know what you think about him. Let me know if you're an ostrich. Again, it combines the Western astrology sign of Taurus with the Chinese zodiac year of the monkey. But let me know what you think. And now we are on to my beaver sim. And so for beavers, it says they are persistent, eccentric, and romantic. Those born under the primal zodiac sign of the beaver are hard workers who prefer to create their own universe rather than wait for life to happen to them. Beavers usually maintain a cool exterior and can be straightforward to the point of being blunt. They don't sugarcoat what they want to say. They consider that a waste of everyone's time. At the same time, beavers don't like to hear the hard truth about themselves. They want so badly to succeed and avoid making mistakes that they often get too focused on the details and miss the big pictures. Beavers hate to look foolish or incompetent, so they must always be one step ahead of everyone else, which can be exhausting and is often unnecessary. In the animal kingdom, few creatures transform their surrounding environment as much as beavers do. By building their dams, they are altering the flow of the environment all around them. In human societies, this kind of activity is much more likely to cause disruption to the neighbors, co-workers, and families surrounding them. Humans born under the sign of the beaver often don't have the liberty to change their environment as readily as their animal namesakes do. Humans are smart enough to have some idea of how their actions would affect those around them. Thus, they have to be more careful and diplomatic in building their empire, unless they want to face a large amount of opposition along the way. And build an empire they will. Most beavers are extremely dedicated to the idea of success, and most will want to succeed by doing things their own way. Career is of great importance, as this is their primary method of proving that they have been successful in life. Members of the sign like having nice surroundings. They will likely indulge in their home or office setup, splurging on the best of the best as another way of proving their success to themselves and others. Truly, the biggest danger for beavers is becoming too self-focused. In their quest for success and a place in history, those born under the sign face the danger of losing track of what is really important in life, and often will sacrifice relationships to chase their goals. Being a blend of two self-focused and determined signs, Taurus and Rooster, this sign has good intentions but can easily find themselves spiraling into depression and anxiety, which leads them to be a place of burnout and disappointment. Taurus needs security and Rooster needs to be constantly achieving. Taurus hates change but needs change to succeed, while the Rooster has big dreams that usually end up being less fulfilling than originally imagined. As with every primal zodiac sign, the two sides of the person's birth sign must be balanced in order for that person to become balanced. Beavers must learn to take time from working and use that time to build rewarding relationships that have no end goal in mind. And then it talks about how beavers are great with detail and excel in any career that requires careful research and troubleshooting. And it just talks about different things. They're also persistent to the point of being stubborn, and they won't change course if they think they are right. They're self-sufficient and like to be in charge. Some famous beavers are Miranda Cosgrove, Debbie Ryan, Jamie Lynn Sigler, Danielle Fishel, Jessica Alba, Tracy Gold, Kate Blanchett, Renee Zellweger, Daniel Day-Lewis, Bob Seger, James Brown, Willie Nelson, Carol Burnett, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Catherine the Great. They were all famous beavers. So for her name is Beta, which means incomparable woman. Her career, I actually gave her conservationist as environmental manager. I thought that just kind of went with being a beaver. I thought it was pretty cool. Aspiration is mansion baron, and then traits are ambitious, materialistic, and romantic. So I like the idea of, even though she is a romantic sim, that she often sacrifices relationships for her work, because success is more important to her than relationships. And that kind of was a part of the description as well. And so I kind of like adding that into the Sims kind of character. For her outfits, I try to go no frills. Like, it needed to have a purpose. Like, she likes nice things, and so there's a certain elegance to her outfits and such. But at the same time, like, she's about the work, and so not a lot of frills to her outfits. They're nice, they're well made, but there's not a lot of frills to them, nothing over the top or extravagant, because she is, everything has a purpose in life. And even some of her more relaxed outfits, they're still nice, but you'll see several of her shirts are kind of tied up, and that's more probably for practical than not. And so instead of having them, just hanging, she might tie them up, and so that way she can work freely without worrying about them getting caught on stuff and things like that. And so you saw for her every day outfit, it was very nice, kind of elegant, but very simple and kind of streamlined. And so that's what I went with overall. And you'll notice, for her jewelry, I give her these peach earrings for her formal look, but most of her other looks have like the little bee earrings that I have, and those are all custom content pieces that I got. And so that's kind of what I was going for. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup. She wouldn't really see the point in it. She puts on a little bit of lipstick, and that's about it. And so for her formal look, I almost went with that previous dress that you just saw, but I decided to go with like more of like a pantsuit. Again, just kind of more practical, if she's going to a formal event and then maybe she needs to run out to do something for the environment. I don't know, what she would do, but a little bit more practical being in like a pantsuit. She could get more done that way. And so that's kind of the overall idea I had. You see, I went with a lot of like beige and brown for her. And that just again ties in the beaver. Very, neutral. That's kind of what I was going for her. And now for her, and I put a watch with a lot of her outfits, but we're working on her workout outfit. And this one I almost didn't know what I wanted to go with. I thought about this one here, but it was a little bit too busy for me and for what I was going for the sim. And then, her hair, I liked how it had the plait going down the middle. It kind of reminded me of a beaver hair or beaver tail, and so that's why I gave her that hair. And so I kind of played around with different shirts. In the end, I went with this shirt here. I found this one here, which has the planet and like the animals and such, which I thought was cool for an environmental manager. So that's why I went with that top here. And again, you can see it's tied up. So it's probably like a longer, loose fitting shirt. And for practicality purposes, she tied it up, so it wasn't catching or anything as she was working out, things like that. I did try to give her spider earrings too, because I thought that kind of went along with environmental manager, but I just didn't like how it looked on her, so I ended up going back with the bees. Like I said, I give her those bee earrings for a lot of her looks. And then for her sleepwear, this is probably one of her more fancier looks, a little bit more frivolous than some of her others, but I think it kind of ties in that romantic aspect as well. And I liked this piece here. I liked how it had the flowers on it, and it's still kind of in that brown color, which goes with the overall color theme, but it just kind of adds that little romantic touch to her. And at night when she's sleeping, she's not working, so the rest of her days are more about practical, where at night she can maybe be a little bit more romantic and loose and kind of not so focused and driven as she is for the rest of the time. And so for her party look, I again use like a tied up shirt, which you'll see here in a second. I like this top here, but I don't know, it was a little bit too basic for me. And so like I said, she's simple, but she's not basic, and so I decided to kind of play around and find a different shirt, and I ended up not using this shirt at all, and just played around with a few different things, trying to find what I thought worked well for this sim, and so I ended up gravitating back towards this shirt here. I really liked it for her sleepwear, and so I used it in this one here with the flowers. And so I like how many swatches that shirt came in. And, you can see I have a lot of custom content as well, that I've been using for these guys a lot more. So, and still wasn't quite settled on that shirt, so I decided, to try on a few other things. But in the end, that's the one I liked the best, and so that's the one I ended up going back to. And then for her swimwear, again, I had to jump back because I forgot her earrings, and I was like, she has to have her bee earrings. And then, of course, some lipstick. Like I said, I don't put any eyeshadow or anything like that on her. I just don't see her wasting the time on that. But, of course, she does like nice things, and so she might put a touch of lipstick. And then for her swimwear, Nothing too fancy. I went pretty simple. I had this is the one I went with. Um, and it's a custom content piece. I like the colors, and it was a bit nicer than some of the other ones without being, too much. Like, it covered a fair amount of her. It's a one piece, and so that's what I ended up going with. And then this is her hot weather look again. I actually used one from the game and not custom content, but again, you can see that it's tied up, it's in the right color, it has a little bit of the flowers on top, which again kind of goes along with this character I was creating. And so that's the top I ended up using, and then it was just a matter of finding the right pair of bottoms for her. And so I debated about doing shorts, and I almost went with this one here, but I decided I just didn't like that, and so I think I actually ended up going with pants instead. Even though it's summertime, I just think, that's a little bit more practical sometimes, and so I see her wearing pants. And that way she's not worrying about, bugs or getting burned or anything like that. Yeah, it might be a little hotter for her, but she probably would prefer wearing the pants. So you can see that's the case even like with her formal look and such. She gravitates towards a good pair of pants. And so that's kind of what we went with, and I tried different ones on. And then I have, again, a lot of custom content pieces. And I like the idea of a little bit more high-waisted. I don't see her necessarily showing her midriff, but again, I had to be careful of the clipping with the shirt. And so I ended up going with these pair of pants here. It doesn't show her midriff, and they fit nicely and everything like that. And then, again, just a matter of finding shoes, and so I went with some boots. Like I said, I could see her out in the field, so I kind of wanted something that was a little bit more practical in case she's out in the field, doing field work and whatnot for her environmental manager career. So that's kind of what we were going for. And you can see I'm putting the bee earrings on for her hot weather and her cold weather look. Something, I don't think she would change it up a whole lot. So she wears the bee earrings all the time, and then just kind of switches up for like big events or things like that. And so now we are finally to her cold weather look, and nothing again too crazy here. I kept it very simple, very streamlined, and debated between a few different looks. Like, I like this puff jacket with the brown, but it didn't necessarily look quite right. And so in the end, I actually go for this sweater with the belt. I thought it was pretty nice, and it kind of went with her overall style. Like, it was a little bit more elegant than bulky, but still functional, and she could get out there and move around in it no problem. And then just a simple pair of leggings, and then of course some boots to go along with everything. And I did decide to give her gloves. I see her as a type to wear gloves, keep her hands warm as she's out working and things like that in the wintertime. And so I do give gloves. The hardest part was just trying to find the right color to go along with her outfit, which is hard sometimes because it doesn't always quite match up with what you have. But those are her looks. I'm going to run through them. And then Onane's look again, she combines Taurus with the Chinese Zodiac year of the rooster. Let me know if you are a Beaver and what you think of her. I'm going to leave you guys here, and we will see you on Friday for the next two Sims. Have a great week, guys. Bye.